Nature documentaries usually require a whole team of professionals.
Cameras that cost more than a pint will in 2050, sound equipment powerful enough to hear a worm swallowing, drones, helicopters, gimbals, tripods, countless other gadgets, and David Attenborough to narrate it all.
But I'll be attempting to make one all by myself with this.
My Canon R6 Mark II, a Sigma 150 to 600mm lens, one Rode microphone, my newer tripod, my own legs, which are arguably better than any drone or helicopter, and my own rather lovely voice. My subject of choice for this film is going to be these guys, red deer, and I'll be filming them during their rutting season, when they suddenly get rather rowdy and horny, and I'm not talking about their antlers. I have a particular set of shots in mind for this. I'd like to get lots of crispy bellowing footage, some clips of them giving themselves fancy hairdos, with either pondweed or bracken, a shot or two of them pacing alongside each other as they size up their competition, a cheeky bit of coitus, and of course, an absolutely ridiculously mind-blowingly savage battle. And that should be enough to make a juicy little action sequence that I'll show you at the end.
I'll be bringing you along behind the scenes, and together we'll see how long it takes to collect these clips, and see if it's even any good.
So without further ado, let's get cracking, shall we?
Alright then, so this is day one. I have no idea how long this project is going to take. Probably longer than I think if I'm going to get all of those shots and get nice ones as well. Don't just want your average run-of-the-mill shots, no, I'm talking crispy. I'm giving Attenborough a run for his money with this one. I can already hear some bellowing over in this direction, so I'll go and look for those fellas and hopefully start off with one of the shots ticked off early doors. Okay, so I'm just coming up on our first stag, and he is doing quite well for himself, I might add. He's got a good 20 to 30 females surrounding him, so look, he's pretty chuffed with himself. Why wouldn't he be? What a stud. So we'll see what happens. He's probably bound to do some bellowing soon, and if another male comes along, I'm sure there'll be a little tussle. Come on, do the roar.
Do the roar. I love you, Daddy.
So I've already filmed a bit of bellowing, which is good, as we're only half an hour into this project so far, so not a bad start, but it's not really the shot I had in mind. Ideally, I'd like one alone in the bracken at sunrise on a cold morning with breath coming out of its mouth as it roars. So not quite that, but I'll try and get that in the future, but that's a good start. We've got one in the bank-ish. So we've got one big boy over here at the moment, and he's not that far away from the one I was just filming over there. So I'm going to try and stir the pot a little bit here. I might go over to this one and say, look, the other's been talking about his mum. Try and get a little bit of a fight started. So I just got an even better bellowing shot, so that's nice. A little improvement on the last one. Stand up nice and proud, giving it rah, one of them. So pretty good. Not a bad start really. Let's keep going. So I tucked a few shots under my belt there, but I'm heading off now somewhere else in the park. I get restless quite quickly, so we'll see if we can find some more stags and get some more action elsewhere. So as you can see, we're well into nut season now, but down on the ground, 'tis but shells, because the deer have been munching them all up, getting as many calories as possible for a big season of love making and fighting. Haha! Oh, some nice ones. See, that's what it's all about. Lovely little conkers. Delicious.
Yeah, don't eat conkers.
Whoa, look at that fine specimen. Oh. This actually takes me back to my childhood so much. Oh, giving a conker, one of them. Oh, look how good that one is. There's something so unbelievably satisfying about conkers. Ha, look at this. Right, this has some potential for some rutting action at some point. We've got a few of the beta males over here, as the kids would say. And then behind me, we've got Big Daddy. Look, there he is over there. And he is absolutely surrounded by the cheekers. So he's only a couple of 100 metres away from the ones I was filming back that way. So this might be a good spot to wait for the rest of the day to see if we can get any action.
I got a few more bellowing shots, but not much else on this day. So I popped back a few days later to continue filming.
So although it is rutting season and I am in an enclosed park, I don't expect it to be a quick project, this one. Anyone who thinks they're going to rock down here and just see a couple of stags properly going at it straight away, no sir. They actually do everything they can to avoid fighting because it can be so damaging to them. That's why they're more likely to kind of just get some stuff in their hair and walk alongside each other, kind of sizing each other up. I actually made a similar video to this last year. This is going to be far superior in every way, so don't worry about that one. But yeah, that took me quite a long time to actually get some action, and it still wasn't the big puppers, which is what I really want. A couple of the actual behemoths of the park, king versus king. That would be amazing. So I reckon this is going to take me several trips, but we'll see how it goes. I think I'm going to help this deer out. Let's see if we can't shake him a few conkers down. All yours, mate. Do you want a few more? Look, let's grab this big bit. You can't believe his luck. Yep. What? Oh, I was going to say, he had the whole shell in his mouth. Yep, there's a nice one. Oh, gee, someone heard the news. Christ, what are you doing? He got so close to me. Jeremy crickets. Glad that wasn't a stag. That was a bit of a shame. I nearly got one of the shots that I wanted, a stag getting a load of pondweed in its antlers, but it was a bad angle and there was loads of people behind him, so that won't be making the final cut. But promising sign that they're doing it.
Remember to like and subscribe.
Cough, no. Jesus, man. Things are hairy this evening. This is carnage. I need to get out of here, man. Ooh, I'm trapped at the moment. Right, I'm just ducking down out of the way for a minute because it is hectic this evening. I mean, there's 20, 30 stags all around this pond, and clearly all the women are in heat this evening. And every time one of them releases some juicy pheromones, things just kick off, man. That one with the little wonky horn was so close to me a couple of times just then. And I had nowhere to go. I had bracken on either side of me, stream behind me that I didn't fancy jumping into. Ugh. You've got to keep your wits about you here, that's for sure. But this is exciting. Oh, and a few minutes ago, I did get a nice coitus shot, so that was awesome. A threesome. How many deer threesomes have you seen in your life? I'm guessing not many. So that was a hectic shot. I had to kind of react quickly because it all just suddenly went off next to me. But yeah, it was so close, I couldn't even fully zoom out and get all the action. But man, alive, this is crazy. Listen! Madness. I got some great shots together for the action scene on this evening, including a fancy hairdo clip, so that's another objective ticked off. I also had a close call with these two fellas. This is classic pacing behaviour, so I really should have known better and got out of the way much sooner. Luckily, I did skedaddle before they had a brief fight, which I unfortunately didn't manage to capture. And I'm not counting the pacing shot, as I only filmed it on my phone, and I'd rather have a crispy camera clip. It definitely felt like this was the peak of the rutting season, so I headed back the following morning to hopefully get the final two objectives completed. Good morning. I am currently on day 4 of trying to get this rut sequence together. It's been hectic again this morning. It is all popping off. But I actually got a tiny bit of rutting footage this morning. Oh, don't you look at me like that. Yeah, a tiny bit of rutting footage, but unfortunately it was mainly behind trees. So I'm still going to keep persevering to try and get something even better. But today and tomorrow are really going to be the best chances, I think, because they are in heat, these females. It is mad around here. Adrenaline's pumping like all day long. Got to watch every direction at once. But there's literally, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stags within about 20 metres of me at the moment. So this definitely seems like a good spot to wait for the time being to hopefully get a bit more action. I am so happy, that was amazing. I finally got a shot of 2 of the does doing one of their little boxing matches. They go up on their hind legs, they're suddenly like 8 foot tall and have a bit of a scrap, which is awesome. Like, I know I'm mainly filming the stags rutting, that's one thing, but you're gonna like that shot. I'm gonna save that for the end as well. That was choice. I'm really hoping the sequence doesn't feel a bit lackluster at the end, but it's just so hard to get an actual world-class shot of one of these individual behaviours. Like the bellowing shots, yeah, I'm going to have a few nice ones of them, but to get like a fight action scene when there's such fleeting moments with it all out in the open, in nice lighting, with no one behind them, right angle, it's actually just so hard. I mean, it's very much a case of the right place, right time. They're all scattered about massively. But I am putting the time in. I'm trying my best, but I'm an amateur. Give me a break. I'm doing my best. So this is quite interesting. This is where they've all been gouging their antlers on this tree, kind of. I'm not exactly sure what they're doing, actually. I don't know whether they're sharpening them or... I probably should have researched this before starting to film the tree. I will let you know later. Oh, wow. Well, I thought you were going to stop. You must want my apple. It's my apple. Cough. Go away. No. My apple. Jesus, man. Cocky. Nice try, buddy. Nice try. Not today. So that was absolutely incredible. I finally got some clear rutting footage, and from 2 absolute behemoths, alpha males they were. So that was epic. I still want to get a few more shots just to make this as crispy as possible, but I think we've actually got all the elements now. The only thing I'm kind of missing is when they're kind of walking along each other, sizing each other up. I did actually get a brief shot of that as well. It just wasn't anything special, but it's going quite well. I'm still going to put a bit more time in, but yeah, nearly there. So I am now on my 5th day of attempting to film the deer rut. I've got kind of most of the footage that I set out to get, but not quite as crispy as I would like. I'm just having a little bit of a break from the red deer at the moment, and I'm over on the other side of the park checking out the fallow deer, but they're under these really beautiful red trees at the moment. So seeing if I can get a bit of action over this way instead. We got kind of 2 over there kind of play fighting, not doing anything too serious. But yeah, I'm going to stick around here for a bit and see if some goes down. Yes, just got an absolute savage fallow deer fight. That was so intense, that was awesome. That went on for about 5 minutes. Got some amazing shots. Yes, oh my God, I've spent so many days looking at the red deer. Pop over to see the fallow deer for like an hour. That was a crazy battle. That was so good. Oh man, I'm hyped up after that one. That was crispy goddamn footage. You're going to enjoy that. Oh man. Sometimes I get honestly too excited to speak after something like that, especially after something I get excited after seeing a nice robin. But that was intense. That was so cool. Oh, that's going to be the finale. Oh, we got another one kicking off over here. Oh, gonna scurry over there and try and get some even more crispy shots. Oh man, the fallow deer is where it's at, man. I'm telling you, there's 50 photographers on the other side of the park, but it's all kicking off over here. That was absolutely nuts. I can't believe I spent 4 days following the red deer. Pop over there for an hour or 2 and it's war. I mean, I got 4 or 5 full-scale battles, like going as hard as they could possibly go. That was absolutely nuts. I can't wait to put all of that into a juicy, crispy, juicy montage at the end. Oh, I think I've got everything I need now. I think I'm just going to pop back one more time for a sunset to get some final crispy shots. Oh, and then we're done, and I can piece this little number together. Those shots, wait for those. Oh.
I got such epic fallow deer shots that it would be bonkers not to include them in the finale. So now the final action sequence will include them as well as the red deer. I really hope you enjoyed the behind the scenes segment of this video and that it gave you some insight into how long it can take to get certain clips. But now that I have all 5 elements that I wanted, as well as several awesome extra bits, I present to you the rut. Every autumn, this tranquil park erupts into chaos. The air fills with fearsome roars as the kings gather once again to face off. They prepare for battle, and when the stage is set, they go to war. It's early October, and as the leaves begin to change colour and fall, rutting season begins. The stags start to gather with only one thing on their minds: females. If they want to stand a chance at mating, they're going to need all the energy they can get, so they make the most of the abundant food falling from the trees. Even though hundreds of thousands of nuts and seeds fall to the ground, they get scooped up quickly, so sometimes a few more have to be persuaded down. Once they've packed on a few pounds, they're ready to consider rounding up a few hinds. Only the largest males stand a chance at this, and they have a crafty trick up their sleeves to make themselves appear bigger. Stags will thrash their antlers through vegetation like pondweed and bracken, which results in some rather funny hairdos. But this slight increase in perceived size can make all the difference in potentially locking down a mate. Those that are successful in securing an entourage then need to focus all of their energy on defending them. The bellowing begins. This fearsome, guttural sound echoes through the park, audibly marking out different territories. Stags have scent glands on their foreheads and by the corner of their eyes, so they also mark their territory by rubbing their heads and antlers onto trees, leaving their pheromones as a warning to others. Smaller males watch from the sidelines and are hastily chased away if they dare to get too close to the alphas. Even the females will fight at this time of year, as they too are in competition for a good mate. But as they lack antlers, they will instead stand up on their hind legs, reaching heights of up to 8 foot tall, and viciously strike each other with their hooves. This is a sign that they're nearly ready to mate. Individual female deer are only in heat for a few hours every 18 or 19 days. When this occurs, they release powerful pheromones via scent glands and in their urine, and the stags pick up on this very quickly. This bizarre facial expression is known as the Fleming response. Many mammals display this behaviour of curling their upper lip and raising their head to draw scents into their vomeronasal organ, located in the roof of their mouths. This is how they detect chemical signals, such as females' reproductive status. Once they've picked up a positive signal, that's when things really start to boil over. Suddenly, all the male's attention goes to the female in heat, and a mad rush ensues to be the first to mate with them. This is where the clashes begin. The alpha males are still able to easily see off any smaller stags, but if they come face to face with a similarly sized adversary, that's a different story. Before they decide whether to risk a full-scale battle, they pace alongside one another, sizing each other up to see who might have the tactical edge. Quite often, this is all it takes, and the smallest stag will retreat without risking injury. But if the face-off is inconclusive, there's only one option left to resolve their conflict: war. Once the victor is decided, they get their chance to mate. But sometimes, even winning a death match isn't enough to prevent a third wheel from trying its luck. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please let me know your thoughts in the comments, and consider subscribing to see more in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.